So after our first day in Tokyo, where we just kind of caught up on things and went shopping a lot, the second day we took a day trip to Kyoto. Now it is quite a distance, and we pre-booked our seat on the way down in advance, which you can do with your rail pass. You just go into any of the ticket stations, and they will be able to book that for you. So you get like a set seat and everything, like we did here. And then we went down to Kyoto. It took a couple of hours, 2.75 hours to get down there, which, considering it's the distance from like Edinburgh to London, and that takes like 5.5 hours, that's pretty bloody good. And we went from Tokyo Station, which meant we could pop into Tea's Tantan and pick up one of their sandwiches to go. So it's all vegan. It's like a soy cutlet sandwich with veggies in it, and that was breakfast, as you do. So we could kind of have something on the train. So we left super, super early. Now, that is Fujisan, Mount Fuji, which you will see en route, and you will see some amazing things en route. And then when you get there, one of the very first things you will see towering above the buildings is this temple. Now, we've been to Kyoto before. This is kind of like a trip where we've got specific stuff we want to get done. So while we do walk past these beautiful kind of scenes, we didn't go in, I'm afraid. We had very, very specific reasons to go to Kyoto. One of them was to go here. Now, we've had breakfast on the train. Now, why not have gelato for lunch? You know, why call it research for work. But this place I saw on Ethical Vegan's Instagram account when she was living in Kyoto. And she mentioned that they had a white miso gelato. Now, I am such a fan of white miso, so we had to go and try it. And it was amazing. It really did not disappoint. It was so good. Now, you've got this little machine here, so you kind of like pick what you want to order, put your money in, and it spits out some tickets. You see this in like ramen restaurants quite a lot, so seeing it in an ice cream restaurant is kind of cool. I kind of wish we had one of these at work, because it would save a lot of hassle with people. But, you know, I can't have everything. I'll see if I can get Jamie to make the miso, though. I doubt he will, but we'll see. So I had that, and Leo had a mochi waffle with the pumpkin and the brown rice caramel. I've got to say, everything we had was amazing. It was like the best lunch we could have had. Like, originally we were going to go to the place we do go to later, so I won't spoil where we've gone. We were just going to go straight there, but we're like, nah, let's just go get ice cream, because both of us were kind of hot, neither of us were hungry, and ice cream just seemed like the most ideal lunch at that point, and it was amazing. So yeah, definitely well worth it. And also, this was like, it's a little bit of a hike outside where we would normally go in Kyoto, so it meant that we got to see a bit more of the city, which was really, really nice. And we got to walk through some back streets and see some new things. So yeah, while we're not going like temple hopping or anything, we did get to see some new bits. Now, next up is Lapisha. This is like one of the top reasons we came to Kyoto. They do a blend for autumn, which kind of like, they had like 4 tubs of it left, so we were like right on the end of it, and it is rhubarb, chestnut, sweet potato, pumpkin, and it's amazing. It's like the best thing ever. This shout out goes to I Love Tofu on Instagram, who told us about this place when we were first in Japan, because this stuff is just incredible. So we went there to stock up on that and a few other things like presents for people. And in the same arcade, you will find this place. Now, this is my favourite temple in Kyoto. You can't take photos inside, so I will leave you with this kind of little description. But it is a temple covered in octopus. What more could you want? It's one of my favourite temples, and we always go when we're in Kyoto. So at this point, other than the ice cream place, everything else we do is in this same little shopping arcade, which is like, I don't know, 15-20 minute walk from where we normally stay in Kyoto. And within it, you see like shops and, you know, clothing shops, all kinds of cool stuff. And you'll see this place, Momogateki. Now, again, You can see for yourselves here, it just looks like one of those kind of wee boutique type shops that does clothing, and it's got some food bits, and it just looks like a shop. However, if you go in and you go through to the back, there is a cafe upstairs. It is so popular, you have to get a ticket and you have to queue, unless you get there stupidly early to be the first ones in there, which unfortunately we didn't because we went for ice cream. But by this point, we had built up an appetite. It wasn't that long a wait in the end. There were like 7 sets of people ahead of us. It was about 10, 15 minutes. It wasn't a huge amount of time. And as you can see, it's a beautiful space. It's like a hidden gem. I'd say hidden. A lot of people know about it. That's why there's a big queue. But it is like a hidden gem up there. And other than fish in the miso soup, it's 100% vegan. I don't get why they put fish in the soup, because it is like just literally that one thing that they do. But hey ho. You can ask for the soup without fish. When we first went there, it was like a vegetable broth they had on offer, but now they do like a vegan miso soup. So I wish they'd just drop the fish in the soup full stop, because it would just make life easier. But yeah, everything they have is amazing. This was the miso cutlets, and this was like the kind of set meal. So we've got the vegan miso, sweet kind of marinated plum tomatoes, rice, that was like sesame pickles. We've also got like pickled daikon and carrot, pickled daikon and seaweed. Everything is so good. When we stayed in Kyoto last time, we came here every day after we discovered it. We went to like one other place, which was, the food was really good, but the service was so rude. And then we came here, and then we never like turned back. We were just stuck with here because it's so good. They do like soup, and oh my god, their soy milk ramen is amazing. If it hadn't have been such a long day, I think we would have gone back to Kyoto for another day trip, and I totally would have had that. Now, after lunch, we went back into the arcade, and you'll see like all kinds of cool things. This is like a little machine that makes filled kind of pancakey things. Unfortunately, they aren't vegan, but it doesn't mean that it's not totally fun to watch, because it pipes out like the dough, puts in the filling, flips them. It even puts like a little heat stamp on top of them. It's such a cool machine. But you will find things in there that are kind of accidentally vegan, like this. Now, if you've had mochi before, you tend to find it in like the ball shape. So it's like a ball of glutinous rice that's sweet, and it's got like bean paste in the middle. This is Kyoto style, where it's like a flat sheet, and then you have like the filling in between. And they had a Halloween one, which was filled with pumpkin, which is vegan. So we had to get some of them for the train journey, and for when we go to Korea, and when we get home. So yeah, we picked up a load of them. Now by this point, the sun was starting to set. It was starting to get a bit cold, and while it wasn't particularly late, we do have another like 2.5-3 hour journey to get back to Tokyo and to get back to our hotel. So unfortunately, by this point, we are heading home. But there are some beautiful views on the way. This park, for instance, when we first walked past there on our like first and second visits to Kyoto, we saw some white cranes flying above it. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So yeah, there are amazing views in Kyoto. Now, I'm including this bit in the video because on the way down we booked our tickets, but on the way back we didn't know when we were going to leave, and we didn't kind of want to book something, miss it, kind of, you know, take up a space for no reason. So on the way back we are just going in the regular car. So there are certain cars that have reserved seating, and there are certain ones that are unreserved. Obviously, it is a first come, first served basis, and this train has had previous stops before it gets to Kyoto. I think it goes from Osaka. So you do have, like, it could be full, it could not. You will see. But there are the options there. You don't have to book in advance. And that's it, really. That was our trip to Kyoto. And don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe so you can see future videos because there's more coming of Japan. Check us out on Patreon and we will see you again soon.